have to excuse me, this is the first time I've done one of these Facebook Lives, and as you can see, I'm from my kitchen, which is for purely practical reasons. My Wi-Fi connection in my studio is always a bit off and on, and if I do it in my living room, then I can guarantee my budgies are going to start making all the noise they can and trying to steal all the attention. So first of all, congratulations on your engagement, and I hope that despite everything that's going on and how that's affected your plans, put things on hold, I hope that you're enjoying this period of wedding planning. It can be so exciting and also so overwhelming. So if I just introduce myself, I'm Jilly, and my business, well, my bridal business is called Paper2Pearls Bridal Collection, and you can find me on Facebook under that. So what I do is is jewellery. I have two sort of styles. One is using paper from recycled books, old necklaces to create rose crowns. And with that, and I've meant to bring one up with me, I'll have one ready for my Zoom at 7 o'clock this evening. With that, there's a real custom aspect to that, in that if I don't have the book of your choice already in stock, and I've got over 20 that can be selected from, I can make it for you in the book of your choice. So you can have something that's really meaningful to you, and a book that perhaps has a special resonance. Or if if you're a great fan of reading a book themed wedding, obviously it's perfect. And I also do earrings, pendants, necklaces, all sorts. The other side is my pearl-based jewellery. I absolutely adore and love pearls. They are amazing, and as I will show you, not so much today, but definitely tomorrow, although this is a necklace I've just finished, and these are beautiful Japanese Akoya pearls. This perhaps is the classic image of pearls. There's a lot more to them than that these days. Today, since it's VE Day and it's vintage themed, I wanted to create a piece that had a vintage feel to it, and also just talk a bit about how I go about making things, what my design process is, or that kind of thing. And it's actually inspired by my parents. I'll hold this up closer. Hope that's okay. Oops, it's so difficult doing this when it's in reverse. Okay, so my parents. Okay, so my father, and obviously my mother's bride, got married during the Second World War. And my mum always used to say that she was very lucky, because they lived in Portsmouth, which was badly blitzed during the war. And there was a big department store where a lot of her friends had bought their fabric to make their dresses, and were keeping it safely at the department store because they had cellars. They said they could keep it safe. But what happened, but my mum wanted to know, we're taking it home, keep it in the air raid shelter, is that unfortunately the department store actually got bombed. Oh gosh, it's so difficult. Got bombed, and nearly all her friends lost their dress fabric. And my mum was so thankful, and I think her dress went on to a few other people. What you can't see in that picture, but if you go onto my Facebook business page, I have got a close-up, is that she was wearing what was very fashionable at the time, what had been popular for a long time, which was a wreath made of orange blossom. Now, at that time, they were usually made of wax or paper, and it was actually a tradition that in this country, first became popularised by Queen Victoria, who, when she married Prince Albert, instead of having some glorious tiara, actually chose to wear a wreath of orange blossom, because that day she wanted to be a woman in love, marrying the husband that she was passionate about, rather than the Queen. And it's actually very appropriate, because traditionally orange blossom was said to mean chastity, fidelity and fertility. And when you think about Queen Victoria, how long and how deeply she mourned the death of Prince Albert, and also how many children she had, it was definitely appropriate. Since then, it's been a real thing for royal brides to incorporate this somehow in their wedding. Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, who got married during the 20s, she had orange blossom in her headpiece. The Queen, who was a wartime bride, had, sorry, post-war bride, but was still rationing then, she had orange blossom embroidered onto her wedding dress. Kate Middleton, when she married Prince William, she had it embroidered into her veil, and it's also thought that she actually wore orange blossom perfume that day, because she'd actually asked that the candles in the kind of the Abbey Cathedral they got married in burnt Jo Malone orange blossom scented candles. So it's got a real tradition. And in the UK, it was very, very popular right up until the 1950s for orange blossom garlands, tiaras to be worn, some simpler, some fancier, and I say made of wax or paper. Now, I've decided to do a homage to that, but I'm using modern materials, and it also gives you a way to see how I work. What I've put together in this box is my selection of what I'm going to use to make this piece. And essentially, particularly at the moment, with brides not obviously can't come to see me for consultation, and because I also sell online, this is the sort of process that I go through if somebody comes to me online and they want a custom order. I will ask them for, not just to say, oh, ivory or dusty pink and cream. I'll ask, you know, like, send me some photos, as many as you can, give me ideas, and I can then go away and put together a selection of pearls, gemstones, beads, crystals that I feel fit in with the theme. And I photograph that, send it over to the bride to see whether she's happy with it. And, you know, I can adapt it, alter it until the bride is absolutely happy. Now, with this piece, I don't want to recreate a vintage piece. I want to have something that's got that feel, something that perhaps doesn't necessarily look absolutely brand new, but really has that vintage feel. So the first thing that I did is I really love these. This is a really small one, I apologise. These lucite flowers. Now, you can get them in, they come mainly in white or in very bright colours. But for this, I didn't want the harshness of white, because I'm trying to recreate that vintage tone. So what I've done, these are my larger ones, is I use some of my alcohol pens just to colour them very slightly. And it is so hard to see. Perhaps if I hold one of these ones up as well. No, it doesn't really help much. But they've just got, perhaps that's better. Okay, perhaps not. They've got, believe me, they've got the slightest tint of colour to them, just to take the edge off that. I mean, I do love the white, and I think they're so pretty because they're translucent. They've got a real delicacy about them. So that was the first thing I did. And I also did the same with some of the smaller flowers, because I'm probably going to want to mix some of those in. And then I looked to see what else I had that would go with this colour theme. I decided to use a soft gold coloured wire, and I really love this gold because it's not a brassy gold, it's a softer gold. And rather than use a bought tiara base, I've actually made my own. It's not finished, because when it's finished, the ends will be neatened off and there'll be loops on there to help fix it on. But by doing this, it means I can make it thinner. It also has a big advantage that as a bride you can adjust it so that it fits your head perfectly, because if you look at ones that you buy, they're usually very, very round, and I don't think anybody's got a head that's that shape. I mean, I do use those, and particularly with my paper crowns, because I need that extra width to put the paper flowers on. So I put that together. So here today I've got my flowers which I've tinted. I've got various pots of seed beads. I've got some golden ones, some really pretty pastel-y ones. It's got some more here. So I was just looking at random. I may not use them all, it just depends. I found this really nice string of pearl nuggets. These are cultured pearls and these are dyed, but they just have that beautiful soft golden tone I thought would work. I've also got some loose pearls. Hard for me to show you these because as I say, they're loose. There you are. And these are ones that I actually dyed myself, because the bride, I was making a piece for a bride who wanted a darker ivory than I had in stock, so I dyed the pearls for her to get that colour. So I've got 2 lots of pearls. I've got these, which are mother of pearl beads. And finally, got these nuggets, which may not show up well now, but are opal nuggets, and so they have got those little flashes of colour. Believe me, when I had them out on my windowsill this morning, they were looking stunning as well, and they're quite small. Now, although sometimes I will do a drawn out plan design of a piece, very often, and especially if I'm doing a custom design for bride, because I want her to agree that before I start working often. Very often a piece like this, it will be mulling around in my brain for a while I sort of think about how I want to make it. Now, when I start at the middle. Now normally I would do everything together, but with this one I want to put my large orange blossom flowers on first, and once I've got those on and spaced those out as I want, I'm going to go back and add in the smaller flowers, some of the other beads, and just let it grow organically, because I think often that gives that really nice relaxed look. I mean, if you look at my pieces, you'll see that I do more formal things, but a lot of the time it is that very relaxed, almost, I suppose, boho-y type look that I really enjoy making. So I'm going to start in the middle and just thread on my first flower, and then I'm just going to use one of the little goldy colour seed beads in the middle. So while I'm doing that, let me tell you a bit more about what I do, my business in general. So I have my own studio in Peterborough, and it's very handily situated for me because it's actually at the bottom of my garden, so that's ideal. And So normally, if I'm doing a bridal consultation, it would take place there because that's the easiest place for me, because I can get things out straight away to show you to see whether it's the sort of thing that you're looking for. I also, anyway, offer Zoom, Skype consultations because I know it's not always convenient for people to get in, and also because I do sell internationally. I've recently completed a custom order for a bride in America, which unfortunately I can't show you today because she's not getting married until next year, which I think she's probably quite relieved about now. So I don't want to, although I'm really pleased with it, I don't want to show it on social media ahead of that, just in case, because I do know I've got followers in the USA, and I know it's a 1,000,000 to 1 chance, but I would feel so upset if it was seen ahead of time. And again, that she contacted me with a picture of what she was looking for and asked me if it was something I could do. And I had a look at it, thought it through. It wasn't particularly something I'd made before, but yeah, I could see I could do it. And that's one thing I want to say. I will always be totally honest and upfront. If you came to me with a request for a design and it really was something that I couldn't do myself, I would say so. I'm not going to say yes to every offer just for the sake of it. And if that was the situation, if you wished, I would try and find somebody for you that perhaps could do it. Couldn't guarantee it, but I would do that. I'd always rather do that and be honest and say no to you than take something on that isn't within my skill set. As I say, I mainly work with my bridal jewellery with pearls, incorporating other beads and gemstones as I am here, but I don't really work specifically with gemstones. So again, if you were looking for a gemstone heavy piece, I wouldn't be the person to come to. And I say that is a personal decision for me. It's partly because, as I've already said, I just love pearls to bits. It's quite unusual today that I'm not wearing any pearls, but it's because within keeping for today, I've decided to wear vintage dress. I've got vintage earrings on, and I don't like wearing bracelets or rings when I'm working in case they get caught. So I like knowing about one thing and doing one thing well. I've always been like that. I used to be a teacher. I like to research. I like to find out about pearls, to be able to tell you the story behind pearls, a bit like I told you the story behind the orange blossom. That's just part of my makeup. And the world of pearls today is so wonderful. I just think we're so lucky. Wild pearls, you can't go fishing for wild pearls anymore. That's been outlawed. And because it brought pearls, the oysters that bear pearls almost became extinct because of it. So these days, all pearls are cultured, but that does mean, but they are still all natural. They're organic. No two natural cultured pearls are ever going to be absolutely identical. A bit like us, you know? We've all got our individual quirks, our individual qualities. And you get that with pearls. So that's one thing I love about pearls, is their organic nature. The other thing is, I think with cultured pearls and with the particular freshwater pearl industry, which is the main centre with which is in China, though you do also get freshwater cultured pearls from other countries such as India, Bangladesh, is that it has made them more affordable. Now that comes with a bit of a caveat. As I said, they're not all created equal. The better quality your pearl is, whether it's a freshwater cultured pearl or a seawater cultured pearl, the more it's going to cost. And the things that really affect that quality are aspects such as the shape, how round it is, and obviously a perfectly round pearl costs a lot more. The colour to some extent, but also the shape, how blemish free it is. Some pearls today are created specifically to have wrinkles to them, and that's part of their character. But for your classic pearls, such as these Japanese ones, you want that surface to be as blemish free as possible, to be as smooth as possible. You don't necessarily want rings or dips in it, and you want them to have just the beautiful, beautiful shine of pearls, the luster, which can be almost mirror-like. So that varies, but it does mean that the classic cultured pearl necklace is within the grasp of most people. And with my shop, I think the cheapest one I've got is around £40–50, which looks really pretty on. If you look closely, the pearls have got rings in them, but the luster is lovely and they look really pretty on. But at the other end, I'm going to have pearls when I've made them up that are going to be sort of £400, £500, £600 because of the quality of the pearls. And I just felt that because of that, I wanted to find out about pearls, to know as much as I can and to keep learning about them, and to be able to inform people that buy pearls from me about them too, so that you know what you're getting. And you know, being honest, of my pictures, I will say, you know, these have got, you know, near perfect, or these have got blemishes on, because that's part. But then again, it's those blemishes that help you know that they are genuine pearls. I say majority of what I use are cultured pearls, mainly freshwater. I'm starting now to also have some of the more expensive, the more exclusive Tahitian, South Sea type pearls as well, which is the seawater ones, which are always pricier. I also sometimes, particularly in some of the hair accessories that I do, use what are called shell pearls. No, I haven't got one here. Shell pearls aren't classed as artificial. They're made by grinding up the waste that comes when pearls have the holes drilled in them, from pearls that aren't good enough to be used in jewellery making, and broken pearls. It's then mixed with the resin and formed into pearls. They're wonderful. You can get all sorts of colours, all sorts of finishes. You can get faceted ones. And one thing is they always will be identical, the same size, the same colour, the same level of luster. And the advantage of them over cultured pearls is that they are harder wearing and they're more resilient. And the reason I often use them in hair pieces, and this is just a really important thing that I want to make sure I tell you before I finish, because I know my time's coming up to an end, is that, and I hope nobody's been commenting because I haven't seen anything, and if I have and I've missed you, I'm really sorry. Is that with genuine cultured pearls, the rule is last thing on, first thing off, and that's because pearls are absorbent. That's how I was able to dye pearls. That's why they do take dye so easily. they will absorb things. Now, if you wear them before you're putting on your makeup, your perfume, your hairspray, all of that is going to get onto the pearls, and if over time we'll spoil them, we'll ruin them. So they're the last thing you put on before you go out, and the first thing you take off in the evening before you start taking off your makeup, whatever. The advantage of the shell pearls is because of the way they're made, because of the resin, they're much longer wearing, and they won't lose their luster in that way. So they're ideal for hair pieces. If you want that roundness, that perfect roundness in your hair accessory, shell pearls are the way to go, because they won't get spoilt. And they're also great for things that are going to be worn, not say, sometimes for bracelets, they can be really good. If you want a real statement, big, chunky pearl necklace, without paying an absolute fortune for it, again, shell pearls are great. I always say what I'm using in my pieces. I say mainly times I use the shell pearls is in the hair accessories, a few other things, but I'd always tell you. And I'm always quite clear. It does mean that sometimes some of what I make is a bit more expensive, but if you were to buy a necklace like this and this one, because of the quality of the pearls, because of the type of pearls they are, will be probably mid-hundreds, say £300 or £400 when it's finished. It's got gold, it's with gold and that's it. It's something really hand down. It's not something you just can wear for one day and then forget about. This would become a family heirloom. So I think I've whittled on for about long enough. If you've missed this, or if you think about anything you want to ask me later on, I will be live on Zoom at 7 o'clock this evening. So feel free to pop on there, ask me any questions. If not, you can always contact me via my Facebook page. So I hope you're enjoying your day, whatever you're doing, enjoying the sunshine, and good luck with all your plans, and bye for now.